Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Henning Pauli. I'm going to say this slowly because the YouTube captions turn that into Henny Polly or something. Henning Pauli. Not that it matters. Today we're looking at a Fame instrument from music store in Cologne in Germany. They are very, very famous for being a in-house brand that has great value for money, but not the super bargain basement brand. I myself, when I moved back to Germany in 2006, bought a Music Man style 5-string, which served me well for years. And that was a Fame bass for about €800. And that's what we're looking at in the same price range here, 888 with this Fame Custom JB5. They, of course, have these jazz bass replicas also in 4 different colors, all that stuff. Because they are so well known for high value for the money, it was only prudent to say, hey, after I looked at the guitar, let me check out a bass. But now that I know who's making this line, I really want to look at the guitars. Fame works with mayonnaise in Poland for certain lines of the guitars and the basses. They work with a company in the Czech Republic for certain lines of guitars and basses. This is a Chinese instrument. And I know what you're going to say, oh, well, Chinese for this much money. Wait, I know the factory that makes these. It's a factory that started making very, very nice, more high-end instruments for a whole bunch of OEM companies. And what does it mean? It means these companies don't actually manufacture themselves. They look at what they have, they like the range, and then they give in a little bit of their own specs and preferences, and they order from them. Obviously, a shop like Music Store doesn't have their own guitar manufacturing, just like Harley Benton from Thomann doesn't have their own guitar manufacturing. It doesn't make sense. I was surprised when I took it out of the case because I recognized the layout and I was like, wait a second, I already had this bass here. But more on that after I take it out of the box.
Late shift, sticky floor, counting tips by the kitchen door. Case scuffed, strings worn thin, counting days till the door swing in. Play low, no stage lights, just neon from the exit sign. Hear them half-turn heads, then they're back to their drinks instead. Fame, fame, say my name in a room I'm not in. Hear that roar before I walk in. Fame, fame, I can feel it humming in my hands while I'm just the bass in a cover band. Yeah, I still want fame. 1 van, 3 a.m., sleeping upright on an amp again. Club smell, cheap beer breath. Phone says mom, but I text instead. New town, same small crowd. Bartender is my only fan. He says, man, you're good. I just laugh and load the van. Fame, fame, say my name in a room I'm not.
As you can see, even though we're not showing you in this video here, there is a gig bag that it comes with, ships separately, which is kind of weird. So they throw in a gig bag. It's okay, not mind-blowing, but it's there and you get it with the bass. Now, I recognize this layout and I recognize this bass, but not in this color and not in all these details, but kind of. And I had it from that manufacturer through a different brand here as a prototype. There were some distinct differences. I was fighting with the other one a little bit, which is weird because it's a 5-string jazz bass, right? This one just pops out more. There's something different. Also, the whole aging, which you can like or not like. Screw you if you don't like it. No, it's all good. You also can get them in not so aged. But this aging is more detailed, and I just want to say it's done better, right? Now, obviously, you can get this dark blue over sunburst, and they're doing these two-tone things. So as if the bass had a different color before, then a second color on top, then you're scraping it all off. And this two-layer thing is something that I've only seen from that manufacturer at music stores. So it seems they're ordering different things. I definitely like this aging a bit more than what they do for other manufacturers because it seems to be more detailed. And I did order it in this Paisley underneath, then the light blue. I think it's damn cool. Leslie said, yuck. What does she know? She married me. The other thing that really stands out is the aging on the back of the neck. So up to here, it's nicely polished, beautifully roasted maple. Up here, beautifully roasted maple. And right about here, up to here, where you would play it, the money area, it's rough. It's worn. I mean, of course it isn't, but it feels like it. So it has a very played in, not new feel, which for an instrument in this price range is pretty extraordinary. Obviously, we have standard heel neck joint there, battery here for the active electronics, tuners from who knows what, but they absolutely do the job. Binding on the fretboard. The dots could be lumen lace, might not be, who knows? No, probably not, but they do the job in the binding. Block inlays, I would say that's mother of pearl or some plastic. Cream pickguard, typical jazz bass electronic layout here with, I hate it when it's on top. I want my sticky here or preferably here, but that's how a jazz bass is. We're going to talk about the electronics in a bit. We have a bone nut. I mean, string trees, all that stuff. It's a solid instrument. Let me get you some sounds and some product shots so you can see more detail. Okay, I mean, there's really not much more. We got 2 single coils, which Fame says they're Fame brand single coils. I doubt it. That's probably whatever the company in the factory has. I don't think they ship their single coils to China. We have a bridge that seems very solid and does the job. Since it is a behemoth of a bass, it is, and it is a 5-string, it obviously does that, because there's a lot of weight on the tuners there. If you wanted something more lightweight and a smaller headstock and all of that, don't buy a jazz bass. I mean, it is going to do that. However, on the strap, it's all good. Talking about strap, comes with strap locks. Nice. So let's talk about the electronics. They are super confusing. I had to call the bass department at Music Store and say, hey, can you send me a diagram? Because there's nothing on the website. Website is nicely designed with a lot of detail, but that was missing. Now we have a switch here, which flips it to, in the up position, passive. So if all else fails, do that. And then you have volume on top and passive tone on the bottom. That's not a good idea because you cannot really roll the volume with your pinky. I mean, I guess you could, but you're going to change your tone setting. Having the volume shared is not a great idea. But hold on, there's more to bitch about this. So in the active, this is our 3-band EQ. And if I understand this correctly, because my ears don't tell me that, this one is mids with a mid detent, so it locks in. This one is the highs, which with a mid detent, but you really want that almost all the way up. And then a bass at the bottom. But you can see if you're moving one, you're moving the other. So quick adjustments in a live situation, I'm going to say, it's just not going to happen. That's the balance between the two pickups. And interestingly, as the department told me, when you're rolling it forward, so you're doing this, it's the back pickup. So bridge is forward, neck is backwards. It feels to me that whoever designed these electronics has never played bass before, has never actually actively operated an instrument like this. This is, for me, the problem with the instrument. It's not intuitive, it's not easy to set up, and sound-wise, we're going to get to that. The cues on the EQs are way too sharp. However, forget about all of that. It's an instrument that performs. It's an instrument that looks cool. It's an instrument that's rather affordable. If you're scratching it up, who gives a crap, right? You know, I mean, we put this on the stage, scrape it over the floor. Who cares? And it just delivers. How does it deliver? How does it sound in a track? Well, here's a funny song that my friend Colin Scott kind of named while we were in England. Here's Why No Pee-Pee.
Yeah. Got a book so full of romance guides, self-help sermons, highlighted lines. Got a gym card, got a decent job, still your hand habit finds my show to then stop. I like candlelight, come summoning ghosts. Cook that pasta, you reposted the most. You say you're sweet, you're such a good friend. Then know me from the waist up again. Why no pee-pee was so wrong with me? Got a heart, got a pulse, got a body, but it's VIP. Only do not see every part of yours close, but that part of me. Why no pee-pee? Why no pee-pee? Your ex was chaos with a leather jacket. Slept on couches, swore he'd make it in brackets. You still tell stories like he's some lost king. Meanwhile I'm here, holding your groceries. I walk you home, you say you feel full face. You change clothes while I stare at your face. Don't peek like I ever would, dare I? Yeah, then toss me a blanket for the cold night. Why no pee-pee was so wrong with me? Got a mind, got a laugh, got a body. You agree, but still somehow he gets the memories. I get your tea. Why no pee-pee? Why no pee-pee? Is it the way that I listen too much? Is it the way that I ask before in touch? Do I gotta learn how to be a little mean? Trash my feelings, play the king and queen. Why no pee-pee? Put the blame on me. Too shy, too soft, too honest, too clean. Do you only see it ever being me while your eyes I get the key? Why no pee-pee? No pee-pee. Why no pee-pee? Why no pee-pee?
Okay, let's get to the sounds. Should we start passive? Okay, flippity-doo-dah, everything up, here we are. I'm going into the anagram on the floor, on Peggy Party, which is just, Ampeg. This is really just the friend you want when you're playing bass on the go. Anagram is the shit. That's going into the Tonex cab so I can hear it, and then straight back into the interface. So you're hearing the anagram directly, but I'm grabbing the signal in the Tonex cab. Crank this up a bit because we're doing passive. So you can really hear what the pickups sound like without the electronics doing its magic. Works great. Gonna take one of these big ass picks. The low B string is there, it's quick, it's fat, balance between the strings, it's all there. We're gonna go active and keep it all there. So I'm missing a bit of the top end. So if I really dial in all the top end with this top knob here, it sounds like a cocked wah. It sounds like we are actually moving a very spiky frequency in the mid somewhere. It doesn't sound like. That's not a high shelf. You gotta dial that back a bit to be careful. And then these are the mids technically. Maybe that's the highs. What do I know? I think that's the highs. I looked at the diagram. Let's say that's the highs. Okay. Yeah, that definitely is. So that means that the top one here is mids. Okay, now I can hear that. It's very, very sharp from the Q wise. The low goes a bit too far. That's all the way. Of course, keeping the mids where they're supposed to be is difficult. Way too far. And again, difficult to set up with these two knobs on top of each other. Gonna give it a little bit low end. Keep the mids maybe middle. Crank up the... That's where I want to be with the jazz bass, me personally. It's all equal in terms of volume and impact. Very nice. So, if you dial this to the front, we are here. It's a little bit too much fatness. So, for me, always keep it in the middle. That's the rhythm I want. Let's do bass stuff. Okay, back to the pick. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? That's all cool. Now let's go to more modern brutal sounds. Harmonic booster. That's the one I use for, heavy stuff. Maybe now a bit more of the low end. That's too much. I think this thing just delivers. If you're willing to have a bigger, heavier, bulkier bass, if you're looking for the jazz bass persuasion, $888, this is your baby. Now, I play this, the Dingwall NG3, which is smaller, fan fret, all that stuff. Not as rock and roll, but very proggy. It's easier to handle. It's also $3,000, and music store will also sell you a Dingwall. This is just, I think, personally, I mean, Leslie doesn't like it, but what does she know? It's just a really cool looking bass. I like it with the Paisley underneath. That's a very unique approach. And at that price point, you're getting a very solid jazz bass. You're going to fight with the electronics a bit. The stacked knobs are really annoying, honestly. I might possibly go and get this modded a bit by maybe getting rid of the passive tone, so I have an actual volume knob. I think it's not voiced the way that I can get to my sound quickly. I can get to it eventually, but not as quickly as I would like to. So if you know what you want, set it up, remember, and then play, right? The bass does have a variety of tones, absolutely. Getting to them is a little bit harder than with a different electronic layout. That's all I'm saying. I love this aged neck. Again, it's a cool bass, and I'm not saying that because paying me. I'm saying that because I recorded Wino PP with it and had a blast and looked stylish to boot. That being said, I'll link below. Use the links if you so choose. Support the channel if you can. And it's been fun with you. And animals at the end.
I'm not made of solid gold, and my shoes, they are worn by the time they are way too old. I've not been touched in many years. Have a lost building up like of trust has kept me